So the goal today is we've got a Filtertron pickup that we need to shoot some stills of because I'm revamping all the products on the Dylan Talks Tone website. And then we're gonna go back to the shop and I think we're gonna start putting together the $200 telly with some new pickups and some new wiring. So let's get these photos shot. All right, so we got parts, caps, switches, pots, all the stuff we need. Let's go ahead and grab a control plate and start soldering some stuff together. I got everything ready to go into the Squier telly. Now, a couple things we're going to talk about here. Pickguard choice, that's some reason always the craziest thing. You put it on the internet, it gets the most response of anything. I'm going to go black, white, black. It had a black one on it. We're changing it for two reasons. One, I don't like this, how thick and gross and cheap it looks. Two, it doesn't have the pickup adjustment holes here. It's got the old style ones, which for a beginner guitar who's upgrading his guitar and wants to learn about adjusting stuff, having those there is gonna be a whole lot easier. So we're not gonna use that one. We're gonna use this one instead, and we're gonna put the Dylan Pickups Flat 6 in it, and then we're also gonna retain the stock bridge, like I said, and we're gonna put the Dylan Pickups Flat 6 tele pickup in the bridge position as well. We're also gonna change out the cheap wiring in here. We're gonna do a whole nother video, actually. I was just thinking about it today. We're gonna do a whole nother video about the size of pots, okay? Because these are those little mini pots. They're not terrible, they work, but there's a reason why full-size pots are better. So this is kind of more like a Fender custom shop thing. So we're gonna go ahead and take all this out. I'm just gonna pull the whole thing out. We're gonna put this in. I'm gonna save this for a video coming up. Bourne's pots, Oak Grigsby switch, just like a Fender custom shop. Flat 6 Dylan pickups, you can get those at the website, click below. And a nicer pickguard that makes it more adjustable and easier to adjust for, especially for beginners. I think this is a pretty sweet setup. Now, the comments are gonna blow up and be like, how come you're putting so much money into a cheap guitar? Blah, blah, blah. But the bottom line is, if you like the guitar, if it plays good for you, and you're connected with it, and it inspires you to play, then it doesn't matter whose guitar it is. It doesn't matter how much stuff costs. Just do it. And what I like about this is there's nothing to lose. It's such an inexpensive guitar that you can cut it up, you could put humbuckers in it, you could modify stuff, you could do crazy things, and nobody's gonna care because it's an inexpensive guitar and it's yours already. I mean, come on, how cool is that? So yeah, I think somebody's gonna end up with a pretty cool guitar. I'm digging it. And so next time we'll go ahead and put some tuners in the neck and we'll throw it back on here and we'll do a setup on it and we'll get this thing playing. And we'll see what it sounds like. I'm pretty stoked. This is really, really fun. And I think this is a really good deal for most people to want to learn to mod their guitars and do stuff themselves. I mean, good grief, this is a great place to start, man. I really dig it. I don't care what you say in the comments about this. This is fun. That's why we do it. It's fun. Speaking of comments, let's go ahead and go to the comments on some of the last couple videos we did. And yeah, there's some funny ones and some crazy ones. Let's check it out. All right, so let's look at some comments of some viewers. This is some pretty interesting stuff. Going back to our video about cheap pickups versus expensive pickups, we got tons of this. Richard Small says, this video sort of makes ceramic pickups seem like they're only in cheap, crappy sounding pickups. And this isn't exactly true. I've seen some crappy Alnico magnet pickups. You should cut and compare cheap and expensive pots or switches in a video. He's got a lot going on here. But especially on Facebook, we got a ton of like, that's not true, blah, blah, blah. I mentioned it a few minutes ago. We were just comparing the pickups in the Squier to something that is better. That's all. We're not making a generalization across the board. This particular pickup, in this guitar, is constructed in such a way that makes it not work very well, period. As far as cutting other stuff in half, stay tuned because we're gonna cut some other stuff in half. If you're on our Patreon page, you would already know that because we did a little preview over on our Patreon page. Speaking of our Patreon page, Lost Smoke says, hey, if you're not a Dylan Talks Tone Patreon supporter, you should be. I think he's right. In fact, we just gave away to Mr. Justin Ramirez, congratulations by the way, this amp right here. I'm actually shipping it out. I need to box it up this afternoon and ship it out in the morning. So this is going out to him. And we've got 3 other items, and actually I've got another surprise item for next month already on deck. Very, very cool stuff. Worth being a $5 patron over there at our Patreon page. And you can hear more about that, the giveaway stuff we're doing over there. So check that out. All right, and let's look at one more. This is very interesting on our cold guitar thing. When we took a guitar, left it overnight in the car, and somebody said, how cold do you think it was inside that gig bag? Could the rather high-end mono gig bag be a factor here? No. Overnight, and I have an infrared thermometer, so, and I double-checked it afterwards because of this question. I knew the answer already, but I double-checked it anyway. Afterwards, I did the same thing. And with an infrared thermometer, the inside of the gig bag was the same temperature as the outside of the gig bag. When you leave something in a car for long enough, unless it's like a thermos, and even a thermos overnight is gonna cool off. Like the whole thing is gonna go down in temperature. So the guitar itself was 29 degrees, the same temperature as the outside temperature in the car of everything else. So yeah, non-issue, pretty cool. Anyway, thanks for hanging out. We're gonna make another video pretty soon. And that's it. Make sure you hit the subscribe button and the little bell next to it and all that stuff. Check out the Patreon thing, check out the merch, do all the things you're supposed to do when you watch stuff on YouTube. And until next time, my name is Dylan. This has been Dylan Talks Tone.